And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Valdosta State College Department of Music proudly presents to you the Valdosta State College Blazing Brigade. Detachment from Valdosta State College. And now would you please stand and join in singing our national anthem, conducted by Mr. Mark Kelsey, Director of Band at Valdosta State College.
Valdosta State College Television, a division of the Department of Communication Arts in the School of the Arts, offering a variety of entertainment for every viewer. Stay tuned. We're VSC TV.
Check that on Valdosta State squad this afternoon, playing in their final home game. Dexter Holiday, Reginald Davis, Raymond Allen, John Kinney, Will Osteen, Scott Long, and Eric Luke, and then the punter and holder on place kicks, number 15, Brian Chestnut from Tifton. We'll be back with this afternoon's kickoff after this word from one of our sponsors. Has won the toss, deferred their option to the second half, so they will be kicking off to Valdosta State College, and they'll have a strong wind. This must be 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 20 behind their backs coming out of the north. The Blazers in their red jerseys, red helmets, gray pants, Delta State University in white jerseys, gray pants, and green helmets. We are dropping Robert Williams and Calvin Walker back deep, and the kick is going to sail through the end zone for an automatic touchback. That little tailwind he picked up on that kickoff just carried that thing about 75 yards straight on through the end zone, Dick.
He boomed it, and of course we knew he would not have a chance to return. But Valdosta State started on their own 20, Bill, and going in, like I say, into a heavy wind, so it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to keep it on the ground or maybe little short passes. I don't think you're going to go deep today, now.
Chad Tanner will get the start at tailback. He lines up in a pro-I set behind Blake Duncan at fullback, Chris Hatcher the quarterback. Holiday and Williams the wide receiver. Toss sweep to Tanner, headed right back up the middle, hits to the 21, out to the 22 maybe, before he's tackled by the linebacker for Delta State. Coming up and make tackle number 24, Tony Young, a sophomore out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. All you folks sitting at home, warm and cozy, waiting for the Georgia-Florida game to come on. It's not until 4 o'clock this afternoon, so you can come out and see the Blazers and be back home in time to warm up and watch that Georgia-Florida game. Second down 8, Valdosta State on their own 22. We've got handoff going to Tanner right up the middle. He's hit right at the 24, lunges forward to the 25, trying to get some yardage behind big number 78, Matt Alexander there on the left side, and number 61, Will Osteen. So Valdosta State out to the own 26-yard line, be looking at a 3rd down and 4.
Bills, we expected Valdosta State just coming out very conservative right now, and I'm sure you won't take any chances because I just don't see how you can throw the ball anything downfield in that wind. I'm sure you can throw, the 5 to 10 yarder, but 3rd and 5 right now.
Slot right formation. We've got Holiday to this side, Williamson walking to the far side. Hatcher drops back to pass, has some time. Now he's under pressure. Fakes he's going to be caught from behind and knocked down at the 25, maybe the 26 by the linebacker coming in there for Delta State, number 55, Russ Callender. Actually, he's a senior out of Ruth, Mississippi, so VSE will send in Chad Mosley to punt. Mosley comes into this afternoon's game with a 43-yard per punt average. That's second in the Gulf South Conference behind Crittenden from North Alabama. He gets the kickoff. It's going to be a short kick. It's going to hit right at the 50, roll back into VSC territory, and we're going to down it at our own 45-yard line. So Mosley,
that's about a 20-yarder, Bill. I don't know what he was trying to do. It looked like he might have been trying to punch the ball, keep it out of that wind, but he just hit it, and then it kicked dead back towards Valdosta.
Well, we brag on Mosley's 43-yard average, and he gets one off for about 19 yards out to the VSC 20-45. He just really missed that one, I think. So Delta State comes out 1st and 10 at the Valdosta State 45-yard line. 13-11 to play in the first quarter, no score. Slot right. Hudspeth is the quarterback, and he's going to give off to the fullback, number 40. We're going to hit him right at the line of scrimmage. 3 Blazers come up to make the stop in there. Number 93, Marcus Walker. Number 34 from Valdosta coming up real strong. Reggie West, a sophomore out of Rickards High School in Tallahassee.
Had good pursuit that time, and Delta State that time, Bill, came out, I think they probably do run the ball more than they throw it, and they came out with 3 wideouts that one time, and I don't know if it's a standard for them, but again, they got 3 wideouts and only 1 running back.
They've got Revis Davis, the leading rusher in the conference, flanked out here, and they're going to throw a quick hitch pass to the wide receiver on the near side, complete, and we're going to run him out of bounds about the 39-yard line, so it's going to be a gain of 7 and bring up 3rd down and about, well, let's see where they mark it. They're going to mark it up about the 37 now. It's going to be 3rd down and a long 1.5, 2 yards to go for Delta State. This is a little look that we did not really expect. They put 3 wide receivers out on one side of the field, including Revis Davis, who comes in the leading rusher in the Gulf South Conference with over 900 yards this season. Now they're going to the power set with a big number 40. Michael Robbins, a 220-pound fullback, lined up in front of Davis. He gets the toss sweep on the far side, cuts in, crosses the 35 down to the 31-yard line, maybe the 32, and has the first down for Delta State. Tackled by Reggie West in there, along with number 80 for Valdosta State, Anthony Thornton. Davis's run is good enough for first and 10 at the Valdosta State 32-yard line. 12:15 to play, first quarter, no score. Valdosta State took the opening kickoff, could not move downfield, punted. Delta State on the short punt got it at the 45. They're at the 32 now. Man goes in motion from the near to the far side. They give it off to Davis. Hit in the backfield by Antonio Edwards, and knocked for a loss. The big train from Moultrie came through that time.
Well, he actually, the blocker was out in front of the running back that time, and Antonio just went right through the blocker and actually tackled, I think, both of them through the blocker to the side, and made a great tackle for about a 3-yard loss and a good defensive play.
Back at the 35-yard line, so Antonio Edwards, the junior from Colquitt County's Moultrie High School, played for Jim Hughes over there. He should be an All-American this year, coming into the 9th game of the season with 11 sacks already. Second down, 13, Statesmen at the Valdosta 35-yard line, pro-I formation. Hudspeth is going to fake it to Davis. Under pressure, and he's sacked by Antonio Edwards. He came again back on the 40-yard line, a 5-yard loss, sack number 12 for number 95.
Yeah, he just overpowered who's ever blocking him right now. And, of course, you know better than I, but I was thinking somebody told me that some of the pro scouts have been here looking and say Antonio's right now as good as anybody at his position, and only a junior, so sounds like he might have a bright future ahead of him.
Well, let's look at that whole defensive line VSC has in there. Anthony Thornton's a sophomore, Marcus Walker's a junior, Darren Turner, big number 74 is a junior, and Edwards, number 95, is a junior. Third down, 18 for Delta State. We fake the blitz. Hudspeth drops back to pass. A little shovel pass up the middle, complete. Across the 40, down to the 35 at the 34-yard line. Knocked down there by Reginald West, number 34, sophomore linebacker out of Tallahassee's Rickards High School. So they run a little Utah pass, pick up about 6 yards on it, but it's going to be 4th and long for Delta State. 12 yards to go at the Valdosta State 34-yard line, and they're going to try a field goal. They got a fine field goal kicker and a kid named Osden Caracook. He's a senior out of Horn Lake, Mississippi, and he's going to try a 51-yard field goal. Snap is back. Kick is up. He's got that wind behind him, and the kick is good. A 51-yard field goal for Caracook for Delta State, and the Statesmen get on the board first. We'll be back after this 30-second local break. This is the Blazer Football Network.
Vince, come on, we're late.
This headbanging is more fun than going through a windshield.
Good night from Iron Maiden. Drive home safe. Remember to strap yourselves in with your safety belts. You don't want to end up like Eddie. Belt up. Don't be a dummy.
Bill England, the voice of the Blazers, along with Dick Rocky, where Jody Carrera, the sports information director of Delta State University, said that was Caracook's seventh 50-yard field goal. That one 51 yards. His longest is 54. And he's going to kick off again. This is going to be a high kick. It's going to be fielded by Calvin Walker at the 1-yard line, headed right up the middle of the field at the 15, cuts to the near side, 20, 25, 30, 35, 38-yard line, 37-yard line for Calvin Walker. The sophomore from Washington Tech at Augusta, Georgia, Calvin Walker, comes right back up the middle for a 36-yard return on the kickoff. He was averaging 23 yards on the kickoff. So he puts the Blazers out of the shadow of their goalpost. First and 10 for VSC at their own 37-yard line. Pro-I set. Tailback, Tanner goes in motion. We fake the handoff. Hatcher rolls to the near side. Throws, has it complete out across the 45 to the 47 to Dexter Holiday.
Good job that time by Hatcher. He was getting a lot of pressure from his backside as he rode towards the press box and made a good cross-the-body throw to Doc Holiday for about a 9-yard gain. Good job by everybody. On that run back on the kickoff, of course, some good blocking there, but I thought a good no call by the official. There was one of the Delta State players got a little tap in the back, but it was a good no clip call, I think, and to our advantage naturally as we got a little drive going here.
Second down, short one for Valdosta State. Bring Dexter Holiday to the near side. Williams and Walker to the far side. Give it to Tanner right up the middle, across the 50, 45 of Delta. Just tripped over the safety as he was picking up a block from the wide receiver. Gets it down to the Delta State 41, or he would have been gone.
Another good job by the line that time, opening a big hole up for the backs. And interesting, we have not seen Mingo or Ramon Allen yet this afternoon.
I doubt we'll see Ramon Allen. He aggravated that ankle injury that he got in practice before the Mississippi College game. You know, he did not take a single snap in the 10-10 tie last week against the Choctaws, and we'll probably see Mingo before the day's over. We're going to give it off to Tanner. He's across the 40, fighting down 35, 34, 33-yard line. Chad Tanner. Hard, strong running by the junior out of Brentwood High School or sophomore out of Brentwood High in Davisboro.
9-yard pickup again that time, 8 yards officially, I guess. So the offensive line, Bill, that's where it all starts on those kind of runs, and doing a great job opening up some big holes for Chad Tanner.
He's going behind Will Osteen, John Kinney, Jody Dowda over on that right side. Second down and one, Blazers at 33. We're going to give it to Blake Duncan. He twists and struggles and fights down inside the 31 for a first down, Valdosta State at the Delta State 30-yard line. Hey, Blake Duncan will give 101% effort on every play that he runs.
He's done that ever since he's been here. He's always made the big plays, and he gets the ball a lot of times in crucial situations, whether it be on that little 1 or 2 yards or that little flare pass out to him out of the backfield for some big completions.
First and 10, Valdosta State, the Delta State 30-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the near side. VSC moving from right to left. We're going to give it to Tanner one more time. He's caught in the backfield. Gets inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line for a gain of, well, let's give him 2. Call it second down and 8 to go for Valdosta State.
Bill, I think we're in a situation down here with the wind and everything. We're more than likely going to be in 4-down territory, because I think it's going to be awfully tough to kick a field goal going in this direction today. Unless you get in real close, because the wind's just going to play havoc with anything that you try to kick.
That wind is really strong, blowing directly out of the north. That flag's just standing straight out. Second and 8, Blazers at the Delta State 28. Hatcher tried to throw the little hitch pass to Calvin Walker, and big 59 for Delta State. Linebacker Richard Vaughn, or defensive lineman, stepped right in between Hatcher and the wide receiver and knocked the thing back. Third down 8, Valdosta State. Complete pass stops the clock with 7:02 to play in first period. Delta State 3, Valdosta State 0.
Of course, our first big third down play of the game, and I think it's critical that we can get back on the board and put the pressure back on the Delta State side.
We're going to send Walker and Williams wide to the far side, Holiday to the near side. No tight end right now. Hatcher takes the snap, drops straight back to pass. Has time, looks downfield. Now he's under pressure, trying to step up, and he's going to be sacked back on the 33-yard line by Delta State. And a couple of players get into a little pushing and shoving contest.
Again, here we're in a situation, you feel like we're either going to punt the ball or you're going to have to go for it, because you can't kick the field goal.
The ball is on the 32-yard line. VSC is looking at a fourth down and about 11 to go. Mike Cavan, standing on the sideline, is going to send Reginald Davis in with a play. Reginald, the senior out of Macella, Georgia. Crawford County High School, replaces Calvin Walker. So the Blazers going for it on 4th and 12 at the Delta State 32-yard line. Holiday comes to the near side. Davis and Williams to the far side. Back split behind Hatcher. Drops straight back to pass, under pressure. Throws the screen to Williams, and he drops it just off his fingertips. VSC just about had that screenplay set up perfectly. They had 3 blockers right in front of Robert Williams, and it was a little bit too tall for the 6'4" wide receiver to grab a hold of. So Delta State takes over on down, stopping a good VSC drive.
I think that's the play everybody in the country's put in, that little flanker screen, which I guess everybody saw Florida State pull it off successfully, and every game you go to now, you see everybody doing it.
Delta State takes over 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. They drove down and kicked a field goal after a short VSC punt to start the football game. Man in motion from the near side to the far side. Hudspeth, the quarterback, gives it off to Revis Davis.
Ball is loose. It's just rolling there. Valdosta State falls on it. I believe they recovered. Let's check it. Antonio Edwards, number 95, comes up with a fumble recovery for Valdosta State. Blazers on a big play, get the ball deep in Delta State territory at the 23-yard line. Big hit, Bill. I'm sorry I didn't see who made the initial contact on that ball, but Antonio was right there and fell on it.
Valdosta State, and we're going to run Herbert Mingo, tailback from Clinch County's Homerville's Clinch County High School in there on a toss sweep to the far side, and he's going to be knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. So Valdosta State will be looking at 2nd down and 10 at the Delta State 23. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Give it to Mingo, right up the middle, 5, 6, 7, 10. Breaks loose at the 15, knocked down at the 12-yard line. Great run that time by Herbert. Bill, a little seam for him to get into, then he did the rest on his own, broke off 1 or 2 tackles and almost broke it into the end zone. One shoestring tackle right there at the, looks like the mark about 11-yard line. 1st and 10, Valdosta State at the Delta State 11-yard line. The Blazers can get a 1st down after the big fumble recovery by Antonio Edwards. 4:56 to play in the first period. Delta State 3-0. Power I formation. Blake Duncan comes in motion. Toss sweep to Mingo on the near side. Hit right at the 10-yard line by 3 Delta State defenders. And Dick, look at what we've got in there at the power back in that power formation, number 93.
Just noticed that. Yeah.
Marcus Walker, a defensive lineman who played fullback in high school, and he came to the coaching staff and said, I want to get in on the offense also. Marcus is 6 foot, 270 pounds.
But that's a pretty good man to run behind if you need that short yardage situation. He's out right now. Got Blake Duncan back in.
We're going to come out of the power set. Two wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. High formation. Hatcher drops straight back to pass. Looks, throws over the middle for Williams. Knocked down at the goal line.
A little bit behind him, Bill. He was cutting across the middle. He was open, had his man beat, but Hatcher just got a little bit behind him. He couldn't get it.
Incompletion stops the clock with 4:04 to play. First period, Delta State 3, Valdosta State 0 on a cold, cloudy afternoon in Valdosta, Georgia. Gulf South Conference game. Blazers trying to move into a second-place tie with Mississippi College in the conference. Look at 3rd down and 9. The ball sits on the Statesmen's 10-yard line. Mark Beach and Walker are going to go wide to the far side. Holiday to the near side. Backs line up in an eye behind Chris Hatcher. Hatcher with a snap, drops straight back to pass, trying to throw the screen, almost intercepted by Delta State. He was trying to throw a little screen pass or out to Herbert Mingo, and that linebacker, number 59, that we've already spoken about, Richard Wiggum, for Delta State, really came across there and just about had the interception.
If he catches it, he's gone, Bill. Just he put tremendous pressure. Of course, with the screen that time, he's going to get in there, but Hatcher didn't get the ball up enough. And the play was open because Mingo was out there for some big yardage, but we're trying to field goal here. A bad angle with a lot of wind. It's going to be interesting.
Ball's going to be on the hash mark on the near side of the field. The spot's going to be on the 17-yard line. Brian Chestnut will be the holder. Don Kelly is going to be the kick. A little movement along the line, but there's no call there. Snap is back. The kick is up by Kelly, and the kick is good. So with 3:55, Valdosta State comes back and ties the football game 3-3.
Hello, Blazer fans. This is VSC head coach Hal Mumme from Valdosta State College Football. urging you to stand tall with us this season.
Reserved season tickets are now on sale for VSC Blazer football. Call us at 333-5890.
Be a Top Gun. Support VSC Blazer Athletics.
You may also charge your tickets on Visa and MasterCard. Take off this fall with the VSC Blazers.
Back at Martin Stadium, Bill England, the voice of the Blazers, along with Dick Rocky this afternoon, and we certainly appreciate Dick coming up here to sit in for us while our usual color commentators, Buck Marilou and John Lastinger, they're former Georgia quarterbacks, so they've got to go down to Jacksonville this time of year to see the Gators and Doggies fight it out.
Yeah, we're short one player on the kickoff team. We only got 10 out there, and they're trying to get somebody out there. I don't know who's missing.
It's going to be Eric Luke. No, it's going to be Mark Beach coming in. So Kelly's 27-yard field goal with 3:55 ties this football game back up. Kelly set to kick off into that strong wind. It's going to be a short kick fielded by Delta State at the 21-yard line, right in the middle of the field, up across the 30, 35, 36-yard line, where he's going to be stopped by number 9. That's Robert Williams, along with 37 for Valdosta State. Making the tackle is Greg Talley, a walk-on freshman from LaGrange High School in LaGrange, Georgia.
Yeah, I know that frustrates coaches. You look up there and you practice all week to get the right people out there, and then you have to rush somebody on the field, and a lot of times that confuses. We did get them, but they got good field position at the 36-yard line.
1st and 10, Delta State, pro-I set. Hudspeth, the quarterback, looks over the VSC defense. Linebackers up real tight. They're going to give it to the fullback going off the left-hand side. He's up across the 35 out to about the 39-yard line. Excuse me, Dick.
No, I was going to say the Blazers looked point like it was a fumble, but I guess not. He went down, but that's a big old boy, that fullback, number 40 for Delta State.
They list him at 6'1", 220 pounds, but he looks like he could go about 260.
He's big.
He is huge. Delta State has... Their offense has lived by the run so far this year. They're only averaging about 70 yards a game passing, but they're the number 1 rushing offense in the Gulf South Conference, so VSC is stacking that lineup real tight. Hudspeth on the bootleg, comes out and throws, has it complete up to the 49-yard line to the wide receiver. Going to be stopped over there on the far side by number 36 for VSC, Derek McCant, the junior out of Tift County High School. And just when you say Delta State is a running team, Hudspeth comes out on a waggle pass and throws the thing.
Good throw, running again to his left, making that throw, which is a hard throw for a guy, and just drilled it right in there for the first down.
1st and 10, Delta State, the ball on their own 48-yard line. We have 2:50 to play in the first half. Your score is tied 3-3. Pro-I set, ball on the hash mark on the far side of the field. Hudspeth looks over the VSC defense, marks something out. Gives it off to Revis Davis. We hit him in the backfield. Knock him for a 2-yard loss. Who was that that got in there? Number 74, Darren Turner. Big DT.
Darren just, Bill, he was laying on his back, just stuck that big old hand out and just knocked the guy's feet out from under him. When you see things like that, I don't know if people realize how strong you have to be to do that. If you or I did that, Bill, we'd probably have a broken arm, but they just stick that arm out there and the guy goes down.
But Darren does work out in the weight room quite a bit, and he can bench press probably more than you and I and your wife and your son and my daughter weigh. 2nd down and 13, Delta State, ball back on the 45-yard line. Trips right. Hudspeth takes the snap, rolls to the near side, throws it complete down here in Valdosta State territory and out of bounds. They're going to mark it at the 42. That's going to be very, very close to the first down, but I think he's going to be about a foot shy. The chains are on the far side of the field, and the receiver, number 80, Greg Green, went out of bounds on the near side.
I thought he had it, but they're saying 3rd down.
He's got to get Delta State has to get to the 42-yard line, and they're going to put the ball down right between the 42 and 43, so it's going to be 3rd down and a short 1 yard, actually 2 feet to go for the Statesmen. Might watch out for that big fullback, number 40, Michael Robbins this time. Hudspeth splits the backs behind him, gives it to the fullback, slants over the left-hand side, has the first down as he crosses the 40 down to the 39. Coming in to make the stop, number 34, Reginald West for Valdosta State, along with number 25, Antonio Hill.
no secret who's going to get it. He was the only one back there. It's either him or the quarterback, and he just big old strong kid. He can pick up a couple yards for you.
Delta State moves the chains with 1:45 to play. Clock runs now. 3-3 tie here at Martin Stadium in the first quarter. Delta State moving from left to right. The ball sits right in the middle of the field. They've got a big, strong wind coming right behind their backs. Hudspeth, the quarterback, takes the snap, drops back to pass, rolls the near side. He's going to run it now, and he's going to be hit at the 35, falls forward to the 34-yard line. Chris Dupree in on the tackle for Valdosta, along with Brad Tate and Reggie West.
I think this wind is really going to be more of a factor for us, Bill, because I think we would probably like to put the ball up a little more at Delta State, and I think you'll see us doing a little more things when this quarter ends in about a minute when we get that wind our back, and we can do some of the things we've been doing the last 3 or 4 ball games.
It's going to be 2nd down and 5 for the Statesmen. The ball's going to sit at the VSC 34-yard line.
Waving to some of my fans down there in the stands.
You've got a lot of fans, Dick. You really do. Pro eye set. Now the wide receiver near side goes in motion to the far side. Hudspeth takes a snap, rolls to his left, looks downfield, throws incomplete, overthrew his receiver. Well covered out there by number 26, Chris Dupree. Dupree, a junior, already has 4 interceptions for the season. He almost had a 5th interception last week on the last play of the game against Mississippi College, but he was diving for it, and the ball hit the ground right as he caught it.
That was a tough throw. That ball just got up in the wind, just took off on him. But we're looking, another big 3rd down play, 3rd and 5. But they're already within field goal range for their kicker.
He's kicked a 51-yarder, and if they tried another one, it would be right about 51 or 52 yards. 3rd and 5 for Delta State. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Hudspeth takes a snap, drops straight back to pass. He's under pressure. We're going to sack him again back on the 39. That may take him out of field goal range. Who got in there? Marcus Walker.
Antonio again.
Antonio Edwards, 43. John Gladden, and number 53, Andre Hampton from Valdosta High School, getting up off the bottom of the stack. I don't know who Steve Roberts is going to give credit to that for that sack, but there were about 3 Blazers in there right on Hudspeth, the quarterback.
He's going to try it, Bill. It's going to be, 50 at the 45, 46, 56 yards.
Big win behind Caracook. The ball's going to be spotted on the 46. Foot gets into the ball, and it is going to be short and wide to the left, and that will end the first quarter of play. So after 15 minutes of play in Valdosta, your score now, Valdosta State College 3, Delta State University 3. Valdosta State College, their own 39, give it off to Blake Duncan on a little fullback slant, and he comes flying right up the middle of the field out across the 50 into Delta State territory at the Delta 40-yard line.
Got a 24, 25-yard gain, and Blake just about broke him. One man brought him down again, but again, we're just talking about what Blake does, and he comes up with the big plays time after time for us.
1st and 10, Valdosta State at the Delta 40-yard line, just underway in the second period. Pro I set. Hatcher fakes the handoff, rolls back, throws to Duncan, complete on the far side, down to the 30, the 25, 23-yard line goes Blake Duncan. The junior from Warner Robins is playing his heart out this afternoon.
Bill, I think that's one of the most successful plays we have. I mean, time after time, that little fullback out of the backfield has just been a very successful play for us. It's been, just at critical times, the coaching staff likes to go to that play because it's a safe pass, and you got a receiver or fullback like Duncan who can catch it.
1st and 10, Blazers at the Delta State 22. Herbert Mingo checks out. Raymond Allen comes in at tailback, number 29, the senior out of LaGrange. Lines up behind Blake Duncan. Hatcher, toss sweep to Allen. Hitting right into the middle. Somebody met him right at the line of scrimmage and just bulldogged him down right there at the point of contact.
You could see Ramon on the sideline, Bill. He was, this is a senior. It's his last, only got 2 games left in his career.
His last home game.
And, he wanted to get in there today, and I'm sure he just wants to see what he can do. I'd like to see him get in there and break some of these runs like we're used to seeing him make.
Raymond comes into this game with 468 yards on 99 carries. Second down and 11 now. The ball on the 23. Hatcher fakes it to Allen. Drops back. Complete. Caught. Oh, Dexter Holiday had it right in his hands down at the 13-yard line. Somebody for Delta State came up and hit him in the back, and the ball just popped loose, and they're going to call it incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 13:29 to play in the first half. Your score, Valdosta State 3, Delta State 3.
Doc just missed that one, Bill. The pass was there, and he didn't get hit. I mean, he'll tell you he should have caught the ball, but it just got on him a little bit quick, and he couldn't get it and pull it in before the guy hit him from behind. But he'll make that catch 9 out of 10 times.
3rd and 11 now. Dexter Holiday is going to the far side. Robert Williams, Calvin Walker come to the near side. Blake Duncan, the fullback. Raymond Allen, the tailback, behind Chris Hatcher. Hatcher drops back, pass, throws over the middle. I think he was going to Blake Duncan, and the pass was just a little bit too high for Duncan.
It was tipped up, Bill, going across the middle there. Somebody tipped it, and I think it was a tip. I don't know if it went up Blake's hands or not. I didn't see.
They're going to bring up 4th down and 11 down at the Delta 23-yard line, and we're going to send Don Kelly and Brian Chestnut in for the field goal attempt. Spot will be at the 30-yard line, so this will be a 40-yard attempt for Don Kelly. If it's good, it'll be his longest of the year, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. A 40-yard field goal for Don Kelly, his longest of the year, and the Blazers take the lead with 13:18 to play in the second period. Timeout on the field. We'll be back after this 60-second local break. This is the Blazer Football Network.
When your employees train with the National Guard and Reserve, they learn to be better team players, better decision makers, and better leaders. It's training that makes them better at serving our country. And better when they come back to work for you.
Bill's back.
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
Is going to sail into the end zone. Cavan tries to field it, drops it, and then just falls on it for the touchback. That'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Delta State.
It's going to be interesting to see, Bill, how they play this thing going into that 10, 15 mile an hour wind, and you just got to think Delta, with the kind of rushing game they have, they're going to keep it on the ground and not take any chances down here.
Taking a look at statistics, Delta State is averaging 245 yards a game rushing and only 67 yards a game passing. Hudspeth, the quarterback, lines them up in a pro I set. He's going to give it off to Revis Davis right up the middle, out across the 25, out to the 20. They're going to mark the 29-yard line. So our leading rusher in the Gulf South Conference picks up 9 yards on that carry and brings up a 2nd down and 1 for the Statesmen.
I don't know if people, whenever they come to any ball games, I would like to watch the action, but I always find it interesting to watch the coaches on the sideline, watch their reactions and things, and you can really pick up a lot of what's going on if you pay attention to the coaches after a play.
Davis, the handoff again, comes across the right side and has the 1st down out at the 34-yard line. Check that. That was number 40. That's that fullback coming up there again one more time. Not Davis, but I was going to comment on Davis. came into this game with 938 yards in 8 games. That's a 117-yard average. And he only needed 62 yards this afternoon against VSC to hit the 1,000-yard mark. First and 10, Delta, the ball on their own 35-yard line. Hudspeth fakes it to the fullback, tosses it out to Davis near side, and we're going to knock him down right at the line of scrimmage. Flag out on the far side of the field, but coming up there was Chris Dupree, number 26, to make a big hit.
You got to figure that's going to be a hold, more likely, Bill. Came flying in there, and that'll be a... We'll take that one.
Holding is the call against Delta State, and Mike Cavan has already told Bill Hyde to tell his defensive captain to push him back to 10 yards. Andre Hampton and Chris Dupree check out for Valdosta State as we bring in a couple of subs. Antonio Hill is going to replace Chris Dupree. So mark off the carry for Davis. Mark it back to the 26-yard line. Delta State will be looking at first down and 20.
That was a good play by Dupree that time because Antonio Edwards of Valdosta State, Andre Hampton that time took the fake and went inside, and that play was looked like it was going to gain a lot of yardage, except for the play by Dupree.
Dupree over on the sideline with the trainers, trying to shake off a little ankle pull or something like that. First and 20, Delta State, 2 wide receivers to the far side. Statesmen moving from right to left. Hudspeth, the quarterback, takes the snap, rolls to his right, throws, has it complete up to the 35-yard line, so he gets the yardage they lost on the penalty back as he makes the completion out to William Harris, the tight end on a little hook pattern right over the middle.
Just when you think they're not going to pass it, they come out and make a good 10-yard gain.
And the Statesmen will be looking now at second down and 10. Hill comes out as Eric Luke checks in for Valdosta State. And Chris Dupree is back in at the strong safety slot. 11:20 to play, second quarter. Valdosta State 6, Delta State 3. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Fullback sets up in a slot. That is a lateral to Davis running the near sideline up across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Husband just took the ball and threw it backwards to Davis. It was obvious lateral, and he had a couple of blockers in front of him and picked up 6 yards on the play.
He threw it like that. That's about as obvious a lateral pass as I've ever seen. I mean, he would throw that thing about 4 yards
behind him, right.
In fact, I heard Steve Roberts, RSID, talking there, trying to determine whether to call that a pass or a lateral. So I would think, I don't know. That's probably got to be rushing yardage, I would think.
That has to be. 3 wide receivers to the far side as Davis moves into a slot on third down and 3 for Delta State. Hudspeth takes a snap, rolls to his right, looks downfield under pressure, throws it away, obviously, as number 44, Brad Tate, the freshman out of Clarkson, was running right up his shirt sleeve.
Good job. Now we got to put a little pressure on their kicker, having to kick into the wind, and I don't know if the wind's not blowing harder than it was when we started this afternoon. Because I know it's colder.
It has definitely gotten colder. Temperature, I believe, was in the upper 40s at kickoff time, and it feels like it's dropped down into the low 40s now with that wind, and the cloud cover has really moved in with this front.
May start snowing any minute, Bill. I don't know.
They say they had snow up in North Georgia this morning. Randy Luster, the punter, checks in. He's going to stand back on his own 26-yard line. We've got 2 men deep, Johnson and Antonio Hill. He gets the snap, gets the kick away. It's going to be a kick that just goes straight up in the air and just stops in that wind. It's going to be marked at the 42-yard line, so the Blazers take over in good field position, and we'll be back after these words from one of our sponsors. Valdosta State College. Hatcher drops back, throws complete to Dexter Holiday in Delta State territory down into the 46-yard line. Now they're going to mark it to 44.
he could have taken his pick that time. He had Dexter open on the side, and he had Robert Williams going down the middle. About 5 yards beyond that was wide open.
First and 10 from VSC at the Delta State 44-yard line. Williams to the near side. Holiday to the far side. Backs in an I formation. Going to give it to Blake Duncan. He's got 5-6 struggles for another yard down to the 38-yard line as we give it off to the fullback on that quick trap play.
Bill, we've moved the ball really very well today. We just get down in a situation with a chance to take it on the end. I mean, we haven't gotten real close, but we've moved the ball up and down the field pretty good, and this is a chance we want to go ahead and drive this one in the end zone. And
they need to put 7 points on the scoreboard now. Scott Long, the tight end from Dublin, checks out as VSC goes with 3 wide receivers. Holiday comes near side. Robert Williams, Calvin Walker go to the far side. Chad Tanner checks in at the tailback on 2nd down and 5 at the Delta State 39-yard line. Hatcher fakes it to Tanner. Looks, throws over the middle, has Williams at the 20, 15, 10-yard line. They're going to mark it back on the 13, but a great slant right over the middle. Robert Williams and Hatcher put the ball right on the money.
Hatcher sure did, Bill. That was a great pass, a great route and everything that time for Valdosta State. And down here, 1st and 10 at about the 13-yard line.
And you look at Hatcher, he does not fit the mold of a college quarterback. They're going to list him at 160 pounds on the program, but I think that it is with every piece of his football equipment on. He's about 5'11". He looks more like Opie Taylor. 1st and 10, Valdosta State at the Delta State 12-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Give it to Tanner. He cracks in off the right side, down across the 10 to about the 7, maybe the 8. See where they mark it. They're going to mark it on the 8-yard line for Chad Tanner.
Yeah, there's somebody like Chris Hatcher, just, that should give hope. Any kid that wants to play and gets a chance to play, you just never give up, because I'm sure the coaches would have told you Chris Hatcher was not in their plans this year at all.
No, Chris.
At quarterback, and he's come in and established himself, and it's going to take somebody do something special to come in and knock him out of there now.
Maybe an Eric Zire could, but I'm not sure. Beach to the far side, Davis to the near side. 2nd down and 6. Toss sweep to Tanner. Cracks at the 5, across the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Goes Chad Tanner. That's a gain of 4, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and short 2 yards to go for Valdosta State. Clock says 7 minutes, 47 seconds to play in the first half. Valdosta State 6, Delta State 3, but the Blazers are knocking on the door. We're going to go with a power set. Number 93, Marcus Walker checks in at the power back, lines up beside Blake Duncan. Tanner at the tail. Give it to Tanner right over the middle. Hit at the 5, falls forward to the 1.
Should be
Somebody hit Chad Tanner right at the 5-yard line. He just let him bounce off of him. They didn't lock up on him, and he took the ball on down to the 1-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for Valdosta State.
I think they're going to measure. Yeah, now they called it. That's good.
Chris Hatcher comes over to the sideline. Mike Cavan tells him something, sends him back in and says score. That's all you got to do. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. They run the clock now. 7:17 to play in the first half. Blazers 6, Delta State 3. Power I formation. Tanner lines up right behind Marcus Walker. They give it to Tanner. Dives right. Touchdown. Mark it down. Valdosta State. Chad Tanner goes right behind big 93 Marcus Walker. John Kinney, 56, the senior at right guard, and Will Osteen, 61, the senior at center, and the Blazers get on the scoreboard with a touchdown.
Yeah, Chad just went airborne that time, and big touchdown for Valdosta State. Should go up 13-3 here with the extra point.
Don Kelly checks in. Brian Chestnut out of Tipton is the holder. Placement is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good with 7:04 to play in the first half. Valdosta State has moved in front by a score of 13-3. Let's take 30 seconds for a word from our local sponsors. This is the Blazer Football Network.
Every day, we're losing 50,000 barrels of oil, over 2 million gallons of gasoline, to a seemingly unimportant thing: low tire pressure. Have you checked yours lately? President Bush hopes you'll do your part. Drive smart.
Back in Martin Stadium, Bill England, the voice of the Blazers, along with Dick Rocky, our color commentator this afternoon. Valdosta State College drives 58 yards for a touchdown by Chad Tanner to go in front of Delta State 13-3. Kelly kicks off. It's a line drive kick. It's going to hit at the 15, bounce high in the air, fielded at the 10. Delta State man comes up across the 20, out to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. Down by 10 points, be moving into that strong wind, going from right to left, heading towards the north. VSC punches that defense in real tight. They're going to give it off to Revis Davis, and he doesn't have anywhere to go as we just messed up the blocking assignments totally, and we're going to knock him down at the 26-yard line. Now they're going to mark it on the 25, so basically no gain. Actually a foot loss for Revis Davis.
You ever wonder how those guys play out there with those short sleeve shirts on, Bill? Nothing, no long sleeve, nothing. I guess you don't worry about the cold when you're playing, but it amazes me when I see that.
They get all warmed up and they come out. They're keyed up and that adrenaline's flowing, so they're really not affected by the weather. Second down, 10 for Delta State. The ball on their own 25-yard line. VSC bunched in there real tight on defense. Hudspeth's going to fake it to Davis, roll right to pass, throw, has it complete after that big fullback out across the 30, out to the 31-yard line before he's knocked down by Antonio Hill, number 25 and 47 for Valdosta. That's Marcus Johnson, a freshman out of Americas.
That was a fine tackle by Antonio out there by himself. What's Antonio weigh, Bill? Less than 200, and then you got that 230-pound fullback coming in there.
Well, Antonio's 5'9", 186 pounds, and that big fullback must be 260.
And that was a one-on-one tackle, and he stopped him when he hit him.
Third down and 3 for Delta State. The ball on their own 32-yard line. Clock says 5:40 to play first half. VSC 13, Delta State 3. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Hudspeth, the quarterback, under center, takes the snap, rolls to his left, under pressure from Antonio Edwards, gets away. Now he's got more pressure coming, just throws it away, incomplete on the near sideline. He had a wide receiver tiptoeing along the sideline over here, and he's just off his fingertips. Good defensive coverage there by number 6, Eric Luke, the senior, out of Washington Wilkes High School, played for Butch Brooks up there in Washington, Georgia.
Antonio just about another sack, just couldn't quite get to him, but he put enough pressure to make him keep rolling out, and good coverage by the Valdosta State secondary. And again, going to force another punt into the wind.
The big train from Colquitt is limping a little bit as he goes back out to the line of scrimmage. Fourth down, 3, Delta State will have to punt into that win again. Number 10 stands back. That's Randy Luster on his own 19-yard line. VSC with 2 men back. They're going to fake punt, get it off to the fullback. He comes up with the first down across the 40 and out of bounds at the Delta State 47-yard line. They just had a direct snap. 22, Mark Lovett, who's a wide receiver. He lined up the blocking back. Punter went through with the kick, and VSC fell sucker for it, and he gains the first down, bringing it out to the 47-yard line.
Coach Cavan went nuts down there on that one, Bill. I don't know if they were expecting it or what, but we just flat flew that one.
Well, you got to be ready for those trick plays. Cavan is irate on the near sideline. First and 10, Delta State, their own 47-yard line. 2 wide receivers near side, backs in an I formation. Hudspeth is going to give it off to Davis, trying to go off the right side. He's going to be stopped after a gain of 1 yard. Number 44 in there on the tackle, Brad Tate. Number 50 getting up off the bottom of the stack, Shea Williams. That's 2 freshmen right there. Tate out of Clarkston and Williams out of Peach County and Fort Valley.
Well, good defense that time. Just about a 1 yard game, so the defense has got to come up with another stop here and again force Delta State into a punting situation. But I think anytime you go into this win like this, that was a good call by Delta State that time, knowing the way the punting situations are today. So good call. Even if they don't get it, they're probably not that bad a shape.
Second down, 9, the ball on their own 48-yard line. Pro I set for Delta State. Tight end lines up on the left. Hudspeth's going to fake the handoff, roll to his right, looks, throws incomplete on the far side, trying to hit that's that fullback coming out of the backfield, and coverage over there by number 50, Shea Williams, a freshman out of Peach County High School. Looking along that defense for Valdosta State, we've got Thornton and Walker in there. The left side, Darian Turner and Antonio Edwards on the right side. Dupree and Johnson are the safeties. Hill and Luke in at the cornerbacks. Shea Williams, Reginald West, and Gladden in there at the linebackers. 3rd down and 9, Delta State, their own 48-yard line. Hudspeth takes the snap, drops straight back to pass. He's under pressure, rolls to his right, knocked out of bounds. They're going to call a face mask over on the far side of the field against Anthony Thornton. He was going for the tackle, and his hands just got up right around the headgear. 3 flags came flying out that was not intentional, and it should only be a 5-yard penalty, Mike Cavan says, as he walks out about 5-7 yards on the field. Face mask is the call. 5-yard penalty against Valdosta State. The carry went out to about the 49-yard line, so they tacked the 5 yards on them to do that. It's still going to be about 2, maybe 3 yards short of the first down.
Virginia 35.
Again, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it's going to be, what, about 3rd and 3 probably. And what are you going to do? You're going to punt it? You're going to go ahead and go for it again?
They move the ball down to the 46-yard line. So Delta State will be looking at is it going to be 3rd down or is it going to be 4th down now?
Should be 4th. No, they get to play. That's right. They'll get to play over again, so it'll be 3rd down.
Still going to be 3rd down and about 3 for the Statesmen at the Valdosta State 46-yard line. They kept this drive alive with the fake punt. Snapped it back to a blocking back, and he took it right around the right side, pick up the first down. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Hudspeth, toss sweep to Revis Davis, this side of the field. Hit at the 45, knocked down at the 44. Shea Williams, number 93, Marcus Walker, number 26, Chris Dupree, knocked down the conference's leading rusher. After a gain of 1 yard, it's going to be 4th down and a long one for the Statesmen.
Again, Chris Dupree, Bill's one that created that situation. He got an arm on and gave time for the big defensive linemen and linebackers to get in there on the tackle. But Dupree, again, credit him with the big play. And I believe Delta State's going to go for this on 4th and about 1 yard.
Well, they've got to. The clock says 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the first half, and they're at the Valdosta State 44-yard line. And you look at big fullback number 40. Michael Robbins lines up right there behind Hudspeth. VSC brings in 2 extra defensive linemen. They give it off. No, they don't. They fake it. Hudspeth's going to keep it around the far side. He's at the 40, 35, 30. Run out of bounds finally down at the 28-yard line. I thought they were going to go to the fullback. Hudspeth faked it to him, kept the ball, and on a sort of an option play, took it around the right end for the first down.
Again, Delta's come up with some big calls today, Bill, and in crucial situations. Would not have thought that was going to be the call right there. But again, you know, you're thinking it's short yardage situation, knowing what Delta State does in the past. It's got the big fullback, yet they fake it, go outside, pick up the big yardage.
1st and 10, Statesmen at the Valdosta State 29-yard line. Clock says 3:17. It's stopped on the out-of-bounds play. 3 wide receivers to the left. Hudspeth takes the snap, drops straight back to pass. Throws over the middle, intercepted, nope, dropped. 47, Johnson was diving for the ball. Marcus Johnson almost came up with a diving interception down around the 12-yard line, but it was just a little short. So Delta will be looking at a 2nd down and 10 now on the 29. The incompletion stops the clock with 3:11 to play. The score, Valdosta State 13, Delta State 3. Statesmen moving into that strong wind coming hard out of the north. Hudspeth sends 2 wide receivers to the near side. Ball's on the hash mark on the far side of the field. Looks over the VSC defense. Fakes the handoff. Rolls to his right. Throws complete to the fullback. Coming out of the backfield, and he's down inside the 25 to about the 23. That's Robbins one more time. And the stop is made over there by, I think Dupree is in on that stop also. No, check at 36, not 26. That's Derek McCant, the junior out of Tift County. We were talking about Chris Dupree earlier. If you come out to a Valdosta State game, well, you can't do it anymore this year unless you want to come see the second half. See, the Blazers have little stars on their back of the helmets. Those are victory stars. They only get wins and for various achievements. And Chris Dupree's got more than anybody on the team, I think. 3rd down and 3 on the 22. Give it off to the fullback right up the middle. He's at the 10, 5. knocked down just at the 4-yard line. Big Michael Robbins coming like a freight train out of that backfield. Knocked down by Antonio Hill at the 5-yard line. So give Delta State a 1st and goal at the 5.
Coach Dominy up here. I don't know. Did you invite him up here?
I don't know why James Dominy's up here. He's the basketball coach. This is a football game. No, we asked Coach Dominy to come up and join us. He's going to talk to us at halftime and tell us about the Blazer basketball squad this year.
Well, he could use that number 40, that fullback, as an enforcer.
1st and 10, Delta State at the Valdosta State 5-yard line. They run the option play, toss it back to Davis. We've got it trapped in the backfield. Now he gets away, he dives towards the goal line, and they say he's in.
I don't know about that.
Yes, Dupree came up and looked like he knocked him out of bounds just at the goal line, but one official threw up his hands. Now let's see what they say.
I guess it's a touchdown. They threw their hands up. I don't know they got in there unless the ball got across.
And there's a player down on the field on the near side. We cannot see who it is. Somebody down.
That's an official, Bill.
Was it an official who went down?
Yeah. Well, that was a big drive for Delta State. They did a good job into the wind, drove it to had 2 big on the 4th down fake punt situation, and then again on the 3rd or 4th down and short with the fake to the fullback and the quarterback making some big yardage. 13-9, more than likely 13-10 with the extra point.
Touchdown by Revis Davis from 5 yards out. Carricook for the extra point, gets the kick up, and the kick is good. So with 1 minute and 50 seconds to play in the first half, Delta State answers with a 5-yard touchdown run by Revis Davis to pull back in the ball game. You score now, Valdosta State College 13, Delta State University 10.
Pete Sampras comes up to serve. Jan Stevenson makes the drive. A.C. Green and Charles Smith pound the boards. Marcus Allen rushes up the middle. Jay Schrader with the touchdown. There are a lot of different parts to play in the American Red Cross. Play your part.
And Delta State answers Valdosta State College's touchdown with one of their own as they drive from their own. They came about the 27, I believe. That's right. For a touchdown, utilizing some trickery on that drive, especially the 4th down fake punt. Short kickoff is going to be fielded by Scott Long. At the 30, he's going to come back out across the 40 to about the 42. So VSE still has 1 minute and 43 seconds left to play in this first half, and they've got the wind behind them. So the Blazers might take another shot at getting on the scoreboard.
I don't think there's any doubt, Bill. There's plenty of time. We've got to take advantage of the wind situation here in the 3rd quarter. Don't know, we won't have it till the 4th, so I really think we're going to try to move the ball down and get it in there.
Going to go with a 3 wide receiver set. Holiday and Walker go to the far side. Williams comes to the near side. Backs in an I formation. Raymond Allen checks back in at tailback. Hatcher's going to fake it. Throw complete. Has Blake Duncan, and he's going to be knocked down out at the 50-yard line exactly. And Valdosta State is going to call a timeout.
Got a flag down too, Bill.
Is there a flag? I haven't seen that.
I don't know if it's a late hit or a holding, one of the two. Personal foul.
As a flag is, that's right, it's back here on the 40-yard line. And the preliminary indication is a personal foul against Delta State. So the completion went to midfield. And if they mark off 15 yards after that, we're going to be sitting down at the Delta State 35-yard line, 1st down and 10.
That's a big play right there, because pick up an extra 15 on that, just on the late hit. I wasn't watching, didn't see it, but
I didn't see what happened either. I was watching Duncan as he made the pass reception. But the Blazers now sit 1st and 10 at the Delta State 35-yard line. 2 wide receivers near side. Hatcher takes the snap, rolls back under pressure, tries to get it to Blake Duncan, falls incomplete. Boy, he was under a lot of pressure from 2 Delta State defenders and just did get that pass off. Got some fresh faces along that line of scrimmage for Valdosta State. Number 69, Justin Clark, is checked in at one of the guards, replacing John Kinney. I see down here on the sideline. Second down and 10 at the 35-yard line. VSC with the wind to its back, sends Williams and Walker to the right. Holiday to the left. Hatcher takes a snap, drops back to pass. Throws complete to Holiday down at the Delta State 26-yard line. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down. And VSC is going to take its timeout now. That is the first timeout for Valdosta State in the second half. Delta State still has all three of theirs remaining. So with a good kickoff return by Scott Long, bringing it back up to the VSC 42-yard line. Pass completion to Blake Duncan, and then 15-yard penalty and another completion. We've got the ball sitting down at the Delta State 26-yard line, and with that win, this is in Don Kelly's range.
No doubt about that, Bill.
Kelly has already kicked a 40-yarder this afternoon with that win. That's his longest field goal of the season. He is now 7 out of 13 in field goals for the year. Last home game of the season, VSC closes out the regular season next Saturday afternoon in Florence, Alabama against the University of North Alabama. Game time will be 2:30 p.m. We will be on at 2:10 with the Mike Cavan Coors Light pregame show. Blazers get their offense back on the field. Holiday and Williams come to the near side. Herbert Mingo checks in at tailback. Hatcher's going to give the ball to him, and he's going to be knocked down in the backfield at the 31. That's going to be a 5-yard loss, as Delta was coming with a blitz that time, and the linebacker just got to Mingo right after he got the handoff.
Bill, fourth down and 5 or 6 yards to go. The Blazers going to forego the field goal. Going to call a timeout again to talk about this.
Calvin Walker runs over to the official. He saw Mike Cavan signaling from the sideline and calls the timeout with 50 seconds to play in the first half. 8 seniors on this Valdosta State squad playing their final home game. Eric Luke, cornerback out of Washington and Wilkes. Brian Chestnut, the punter out of Tift County High School. Dexter Holiday, a senior wide receiver out of Newnan. Reginald Davis, split in out of Crawford County. Raymond Allen, the tailback. Valdosta State College's leading all-time rusher and second in scoring in Valdosta State College's history. John Kinney, the guard out of Effingham County. Will Osteen, and Scott Long, the tight end out of Dublin. Kelly is going to try a 47-yard field goal with 50 seconds left on 4th down and 6. The snap is back. The kick is up. It's certainly long enough. And it's good. So Kelly just bettered his 40-yard best effort with a 46-yarder.
Good kick, Bill. No doubt that was in there, and probably could have kicked it from 50 on that line drive. And I think it was probably a wise decision to try to get that because we're 4th and 5 or 6, and it's better to try a field goal, especially with that wind behind him. And Kelly, I think, has some confidence today because he's kicked 2 long ones.
That's a 40-yarder and a 46-yarder right behind it. Those are his career best and then a new career best.
You're watching Telecommunication Students at Work, bringing you the best sports, drama, and all-around entertainment. Student-produced and community-oriented programming at its best. Thanks for supporting us. We're VSC TV.
Back at Martin Stadium, Bill England, the voice of the Blazers, along with Dick Rocky, our color commentator this afternoon, with Valdosta State has moved in front 16-10 on Don Kelly's 46-yard field goal. Kelly sets the kick off again for the Blazers, gets foot into the ball, is going to carry to the 3-yard line where it's fielded by Delta State, back up across the 20 to the 21-yard line, and a late flag comes flying in. Return man for Delta State was tripped up by number 28, Kevin Crosby, a freshman out of Jefferson High, who just came down flying on that kickoff team for Valdosta State. Got to the Delta State return man, but they're going to call VSC for a late hit, and that's going to move the ball out to, well, let's see where they're going to mark it now. They haven't stepped off any yardage. He went down on the 22, so that should put it about the 37-yard line with 38 seconds left to play.
hard not to be impartial up here. I didn't see him. I guess somebody came flying in there late after he was on the ground. I'm sure it was the right call because they threw the flag, and as we know, and these are GSC officials. Very seldom they'll make a mistake. First and 10, Delta State. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Hudspeth, the quarterback, has his fullback lined up behind him. He's going to give it off to him. Out across the 40, 45, 47. That's not a fullback. That's a train. That's number 84, Paul Hayes, 6'3", 250-pound tight end. As they lined up at fullback, and Delta State's going to call a timeout. Yeah, that's one of those plays I think you're really trying to run the clock out, but they picked up more than they saw and called the timeout because you're in a situation, Bill, if you want to try to throw it downfield a little bit, even if it gets intercepted, you're not going to hurt yourself that much. Clock stops with 28 seconds to play in the first half. Valdosta State College 16, Delta State University 10. There's Dupree is going to come over to the sideline, talk with Eric Schumann, our defensive secondary coach, Dave Napert, the defensive line coach, and Bill Hyde, our defensive coordinator. Now the Statesmen are ready. They've still got that tight end lined up at the fullback slot in front of Revis Davis. Got 2 wide receivers to the far side. First and 10, or second down and 1, that is, on the 47. They're going to give it to Davis going right into the middle. Tries to pull away from one man, does, and somebody else comes up and knocks him down, but he'll have enough yardage for the first down, and they'll stop the clock to move the chains with 18 seconds left. Antonio Edwards getting up off the stack along with Anthony Thornton and number 50, Shea Williams. So they'll move the chains, and Delta State will also take a timeout. That's their second. Well, I wish they'd go ahead and get this half over with, Bill. We'd be that much closer to the second half. And it is chilly out here this afternoon, especially with that wind blowing right out of the north. I guess that's why Coach Dominic coaches basketball, because if it gets down to 30 degrees, he can be inside that warm chimney suit, tied, not be cold at all. If he was a football coach, he'd have to have him a little booth down there where he could have a heater to keep himself warm. Maybe Coach Rick Stoops could get him a blanket to go along with it. Delta State will be looking at a first down and 10. The ball on their own 48-yard line with 18 seconds to play in the first half. They're going to send one. They're going to come out in a pro I set. One receiver wide to each side. Hudspeth in at quarterback. VSC loosens up the defense now as the cornerbacks drop off. Hudspeth drops straight back to pass. Looks, throwing long downfield. Almost intercepted. Eric Luke and Chris Dupree both went for the ball and collided, and it fell incomplete down at the 26-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 10 seconds left to play. That was a nice throw he made downfield, Bill. Had a chance for a lot to happen that time. Had a chance for the interception. It could have been completed if we'd hit that thing a little bit, because he was behind our defender just about a yard. But 10 seconds to go in a half, and again, I think you just look for him to drop back and fire it deep. Well, in this situation, that's about the best you can hope for, is get it down and get it within Carrick's range for the field goal if you don't score the touchdown. Trip wide receivers to the left. Ball on the hash mark on the right. VSC's defense says slide over. Hudspeth drops back to pass. He's under a little bit of pressure. Antonio Edwards is chasing him. Nay throws incomplete. Headed for the sideline. Clock says 2 seconds left and stops on the incompletion. Delta State gets one more shot at it. It's going to be third down and 10. Just hopefully they don't fall off an Atlanta Falcon here. But he'd have to. I don't think he could throw this thing 50 yards in the air, Bill, which is what he'd have to do today to get it to the end zone. Well, not throwing into this wind. They're 52 yards away from the Valdosta State College goal line. And Hudspeth may have a good arm, but I don't think about anybody could throw it into this wind over 50 yards. Halftime, we'll have Coach James Dominy, the head basketball coach at Valdosta State College, as our guest, and he'll talk about the Blazers this year. Now they line up in trips right. VSC's defense loosens up. Hudspeth takes the snap, drops back to pass, under pressure. He throws as far and as hard as he can, almost intercepted by Eric Luke, and somebody else from VSC got a hand in on it.
and knocked it away. Luke is disappointed because he didn't come up with the interception. But we've gotten to halftime finally, where your score is Valdosta State College 16, Delta State University 10. This is the Blazer Football Network.
Driving just 5 miles per hour slower than we usually do will save over 2 million gallons of gas a day and help keep America out of the red. Do your part. Drive smart.
Under the field direction of Senior Drum Major Brian Upshaw, the Blazer Brigade opens today's show with a tribute to one of the most successful groups in the history of popular music, the Beatles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Valdosta State College Blazing Brigade! Brigade. They are as follows. A 4-year dance line member, Nikki Armstrong, co-captain of the dance line. Sidney Carter, a 4-year trumpet player on the Blazer Brigade. A 2-year dance line member, Susan Cobb. Dance line captain, a 3-year dance line member, Linda Dell. Or 4-year trumpet player, Scott Dunn. A 3-year member of the Majorette Corps, Catherine Dupree. A 3-year member of the Blazer Brigade, on mellophone, Kathy Ekdahl. From the dance line, a 1-year member of the Blazer Brigade, Melanie Fender. Majorette co-captain and 4-year Majorette, Christy Gray. On the mellophone line, a 1-year Blazer Brigade member, Van Hastings. Flute section leader, a 4-year piccolo player in the Blazer Brigade, Denise Kuiper. Majorette co-captain and 4-year member of the Majorette Corps, Christy Lanier. A 5-year member of the Blazer Brigade on tuba, Brian Layton. A 4-year trumpet player in the Blazer Brigade, Kelly Malden. A 4-year tuba player and tuba section leader, Sean Parsons. And 4-year member of the Blazer Brigade, drum major, Brian Upshaw. The Blazer Brigade would like to thank all of these seniors for all your hard work and dedication over the past years. And now the Blazer Brigade concludes today's show with a special Edward arrangement of the Beatles' hit, Hey Jude.
VSC to start the second half. The ball on their own 33-yard line. And, Dick, we said that was, you questioned that decision by Delta State, as they had won the toss and deferred their option to the second half.
And then they kick off, and I guess we don't think they figure out they want that win in the third quarter, but we'll be glad to take it in the fourth.
1st and 10, Valdosta State will give it off to Chad Tanner, diving across the 35 out to about the 38-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 5 on first down, bring up second down and 5 for the Blazers.
But it's, unless the only thing I can figure, Bill, we may, we could have won that toss, but I could promise you I thought Delta won it and deferred to the second half. But anyway, we got the ball, and that's what matters. We'll take it where it's got it.
Second down, 5, VSC, the ball on their own 38-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Hatcher, the quarterback, gives it off to Tanner, going off the left, side steps one man, comes up across the 40, out to about the 43, and close to a first down.
Good running, just like we started the game with Chad Tanner. Chad picking up 2 consecutive carries now, almost 10 yards. I believe they're going to call a timeout and have a little measurement.
Running in there behind Matt Alexander, Justin Clark, Will Osteen, John Kinney, the senior at right guard, and Jody Dowda, the big tackle out of Cherokee County, at the right tackle. They're going to bring the stakes out to the middle of the field. The ball sits right in the center of the field. Stretch it out, and it's going to be about 4 inches shy, says Lee Warren, the referee. Gulf South Conference officials today, assigned by Billy Abel and Sonny Moran, the commissioner of the Gulf South Conference out of the offices of Birmingham. So VSC will look at a 3rd down and 1 and bring in the power set. That's 2 tight ends, Steve Greer, whose daddy's coaching at the University of Georgia, lines up tight end on the left, Scott Long on the right. Marcus Walker, the big defensive tackle at power back. And we're going to give it to Tanner, cracking off the right-hand side behind Marcus Walker, and he's got that first down right after the 45-yard line.
Good surge that time by everybody, and Chad made a good hard run in there, picked up about a yard or 2 more than he needed.
Marcus Walker comes out, goes back over and stands beside his coach, defensive line coach Dave Napert. And the Blazers 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Clock runs 13:40 to play in the third period. Valdosta State 16, Delta State 10. Dexter Holiday is going to go wide to the far side. Robert Williams comes to the near side. Hatcher takes the snap, takes the handoff, throws out, throws complete to Duncan. He's at the 50, down into Delta State territory at the 44-yard line before 3 of them gang up on the junior out of Warner Robins.
That little pass play we talked about, Bill. Again, very successful. And Chad, another good catch, another good run.
Excuse me, Vic, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to tell you, I may not be able to talk too much about football, but I know it's colder than I've ever been in a football game, and I want those folks who left early at halftime to know that I know who they are, and I know that white GMC Jimmy that they got into, and I won't call their names,
but we know who they are. 1st and 10, Blazers at the Delta State 43-yard line. Give it off to Blake Duncan, cracking off the right-hand side. He's got 2 down to the 41. A number of people left at halftime, Rick.
Can't hardly blame them, really. I mean, it's really
it's nippy out here.
I haven't been this cold, really. Of course, I probably didn't dress appropriately, but Coach Dominic, he was complaining because he didn't get a gift for halftime, so I'd seen him down there, and he got a Chick-fil-A sandwich from Steve Roberts preparing on the halftime show.
I'm really surprised to see that he's still here. Of course, I guess if you feed him, he'll stay.
Give him something free.
2nd down 9, the ball at the Delta 42. Pro I set. Hatcher fakes the handoff, rolls right, stops, looks, passes over the middle. Scott Long has it complete. 25, 15, 10. One man got him down at the 7-yard line. Scott Long, the senior from Dublin, 1 step away from scoring a touchdown.
Scott just couldn't make the moves to get by that guy, but you don't have many tight ends that have the moves like those flankers and wideouts. But good catch by Scott, good run, and we're in 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Scott Long, coming into this afternoon's game, had caught, I'm going to check it real quick, 4 passes for 68 yards. He was averaging 17, and we went from our own 38 down to the Delta State 6-yard line, 7-yard line. So give Scott 31 yards on the reception to set up 1st and goal, Blazers. Hatcher, back to pass, fakes it, pumps, throws to the corner. Touchdown to Dexter Holiday. Mark it down. Yes, sir.
Nice pass play that time, a little pump fake by the quarterback Hatcher, and didn't get quite as much loft on that as you normally going to see on that, but he got just enough, and we'll take it. A good Good drive that time by the Blazers. Real good drive into the wind.
That's the way you want to start off a second half. Take the ball and move right down the field for a touchdown. Don Kelly checks in to attempt the extra point. Brian Chestnut from Tifton will be the holder. Snap is back. The placement's down. The kick is up, and the kick is good with 11:56 to play in the third period. The Blazers go in front by a score of 23-10. Let's take 30 seconds for a word from our local sponsors.
20 minutes ago, this man's last shred of dignity was stripped right off his back. Where do you go when your world is this cold, this cruel? He got help at the Salvation Army. They got help from the United Way. Thank God the United Way got help from you. The United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
Back at Martin Stadium, Bill England, the Blazers, along with Dick Rocky and James Dominy, VSC's head basketball coach, who's about devoured that Chick-fil-A sandwich that he's got. Valdosta State moves 67 yards to start the second half into the wind. Chris Hatcher throws it 7 yards to Dexter Holiday, the senior wide receiver out of Union, Georgia, for the touchdown, and Valdosta State goes in front 23-10. That is Holiday's third touchdown reception of the year. That is Hatcher's fifth TD toss. Kelly kicks off. It's going to bounce over the defender's head. He's going to go back, pick it up at the 12-yard line, and we're going to knock him down inside the 20, down around the 18-yard line.
Good kick that time on the kickoff. Just one of those little punch kicks, kept it low and got the good, funny football hop, which you never know which is going to go. And the defense got down there and stopped them inside the 20. Good mark it well right at the 19 and 3/4 yard line.
Derek McCann in there along with number 28 to make the tackle for Valdosta State College. Delta State with a wind to its back now. Starts off 1st and 10. They're going to mark it on the 20-yard line, they call it. Pro-I formation. VSC bunches the defense up real tight. Hudspeth, the quarterback, takes a snap, drops back to pass, throws complete out here to the 25, and we're going to knock him down right there. Eric Luke came up and made the first contact, and then got help from Dupree and number 47, Marcus Johnson. Completion was good for 5 yards, and that'll bring up a second down and 5. Delta State moving from left to right here at Martin Stadium. That's going from north to south, and they've got that strong wind at their back on this cloudy, cold afternoon. Statesmen are going to send 2 wide receivers to the left. Ball sits on the hash mark on the near side of the field. VSC bunches the defense in real tight. Hudspeth takes a snap, rolls back to pass, throws, has it complete out across the 30 after the 35-yard line. And the Statesmen, that's why I guess if they had the option on the toss, they wanted to win because they decided they were going to put it up here in the second half.
Well, it felt like they probably had to get back into it right here with the wind, and like I say, it's again blowing harder than when we started the game, and that's 2 good throws he's made on this drive. Yeah, I think Valdosta State, the defense is really not shut down their running game, but I think we're slowing them down enough where they're going to have to put the ball in the air and do something that they don't like to do.
Well, they only ran it for 79 yards that first half with a couple of big yardage plays coming on fakes, and they threw it for 60 yards. 1st and 10, Statesman. Hudspeth back to pass one more time under pressure, almost sacked. Now he slips away. He's going to run it far side up across the 35, 40-yard line, out of bounds. Antonio Edwards was really close to having his second sack of the afternoon, and Hudspeth just slipped out of the big defensive end's hands.
Again, Bill, it's just, I enjoy watching Mike Cavan on the sidelines. Mike had his hands over his head because he knows how close Antonio was to getting that sack, and it's fun to watch his reaction down there.
Darren Turner checks out on that defensive line. Barry Roberson from Suwannee County checks in. See Andre Hampton lining up at defensive end on the right side. 2nd down and 3 for the Statesmen. Toss sweep to Revis Davis coming towards the near side. We've got him hemmed in, and we're going to knock it down right on the 42-yard line. He didn't get a single thing on that play. Antonio Edwards,
Reginald West.
34, Reginald West off the bottom of the stack. Chris Dupree, Shea Williams in there also.
Bill, it seems like you, if you think about it, you call Chris Dupree's name quite often.
Over and over.
Every Saturday you hear his name mentioned.
Well, that's why he's got more stars on his hat than anybody else, because he's right there in the thick of things, and he certainly should be All Gulf South Conference strong safety. 3rd down and 3 for the Statesmen now. The ball sits on their own 42-yard line. They've got trips to the left. Ball on the hash mark on the near side. Hudspeth throws left to pass. Under pressure, throws, has it complete out there on the far side across the 50 down on the VSC 49-yard line. Good reception out there on the far side by number 23, Willie Frazier. He's defended by Eric Luke, who makes the tackle along with Dupree.
But Delta's got a little drive going here, mixing the run and the pass, having really more success throwing the ball this afternoon than they have running the ball.
And they were only averaging 68 yards, 67.3 yards per game passing coming into this contest. 1st and 10 Statesmen on the VSC 49-yard line. They're going to give it off to Davis, cracking off the left-hand side. We hit him right at the 45. He's going to have about 4 yards. Getting up off the bottom of the stack, number 93, Marcus Walker, and number... Antonio Edwards is in there. I'm not sure who else. There was somebody else from VSC who got up off that stack. I couldn't pick the number up right away. It was Andre Hampton, number 53, who's playing a defensive end right now. Andre Hampton played at Valdosta High School, signed with Tennessee State, transferred back to VSC. 2nd down and 6 for the Statesmen. Hudspeth back to pass, throws, has it complete out here on the near side down at the 35-yard line. Flag on the play, hold everything.
Yeah, that was a late flag that came in. I don't know if it's going to be a hold or a personal foul or what. Pointing our way, though.
The umpire made the call, so let's see what they're going to mark off. Official Lee Warren comes over to the near sideline. Says the penalty is a dead ball, personal foul against Valdosta State College. So the completion moved the ball down to the VSC 35-yard line. They're going to attack on 15. Coach Mike Cavan looks over at his assistant coaches and said, who did that? And he is not a happy camper right at the moment.
Well, we're going to find out real quick who did it, because I think he's going to be walking out of the ball game here.
Barry Robertson coming to the sideline. He's replaced by Darren Turner. Delta State has the ball 1st and 10 on the Valdosta State 20-yard line. Blazers 23, Statesmen 10 with 8:25 to play in the 3rd period. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Hudspeth in at quarterback. Gives it off to that big fullback, and he rolls on the near sideline down across the 20 to about the 15 before he's stopped by Derek McCant. McCant, 5'11", 196 pounds, just took on that big fullback, Michael Robinson, who's about 260, and we've got a player down on the field.
Antonio Hill.
Antonio Hill, number 25, the cornerback out of Washington Wilkes, injured on the play. So we've got timeout on the field. Let's take 30 seconds for a word from our local sponsors. This is the Blazer Football Network.
Six months ago, this man's heart suddenly gave out. He had no pulse. He could no longer breathe. He got help from someone who learned CPR at the Red Cross. They got help from the United Way. Thank God the United Way got help from you. The United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
Antonio Hill, injured on that last play, helped off to the sidelines. Delta State looks at a 2nd down and 5. Hudspeth back to pass, under pressure, throws for the end zone, too far, incomplete. Hudspeth was under a lot of pressure that time from Shea Williams, who blitzed in from his strong side linebacker, and Hudspeth didn't have any choice but to throw the thing and tried to put it up for his receiver deep in the end zone and just overthrew it a couple of yards.
Of course, big 3rd and 5 right now. I know Delta State wants to get in that end zone, but it'd be a big plus for us. We can force them at least to attempt the field goal. and still keep that score 23-13 then.
VSC with that 13-point lead. The incompletion stops the clock with 7:41 to play in the third period. They send 3 wide receivers to the right. Line up fullback Robbins behind Hudspeth. They give it off to the fullback. We hit him right at the line of scrimmage. He bounces off 1 man, 2, 3. Come and get him and knock him down back on the 18. I'm not sure who got in there first. I think it was number 74, Darren Turner, who came up and met Big Robbins right in the backfield, right as he got the handoff. Robbins tried to bounce off of him, and then 3 more Blazers converged on him to knock him down for the loss. So Osden Carrickert is going to check in to attempt the field goal. Spot's going to be at the 25-yard line. We've got a flag down on the play as we had movement along the line of scrimmage. The kick is good, but let's see if VSC jumped or did Delta State draw him offside.
I think we jumped, Bill, but the kick was good. It didn't look that good when it went off there, but I'm sure they'll take the points and kick off here because they still wouldn't have enough for the first down.
No, it was 4th down and 8. Offsides against Valdosta State. Now, do you take the points off the scoreboard and look at a 4th down and 3? Give Carrickert the 35-yard field goal, and that makes your score now. Valdosta State 23, Delta State 13. We'll be back after a word from one of our sponsors.
Hello, Blazer fans. This is VSC head coach Hal Mummy from Valdosta State College Football, urging you to stand tall with us this season.
Reserved season tickets are now on sale for VSC Blazer football. Call us at 333-5890.
Be a top gun. Support VSC Blazer Athletics.
You may also charge your tickets on Visa and MasterCard. Take off this fall with the VSC Blazers.
Back at Martin Stadium, Bill England, the voice of the Blazers, along with Dick Rocky, and both teams have the ball one time during this second half. Blazers move in for 67 yards for a touchdown. Delta State comes down 60 yards and gets a 35-yard field goal. Carrickert set to kick off. It's a line drive kick. It's going to be fielded by Williams at the 7-yard line. Back up the middle. He's at the 15, the 20, 25. Breaks it to the near sideline, tripped up by the ankle. Number 8 getting down there was Spence Shepard, a backup quarterback, and just did get his hand out, trip Robert Williams up, or he might have been off to the races.
He did. He cut that thing. He was right towards the middle, Bill, then was just getting ready to break it outside, pick up a little speed, and just got him on the back of his heel. But the Blazers again starting on about the 28-yard line.
1st and 10, VSC. Williams comes to the near side, Holiday the far side. Scott Long, tight end, checks in, lines up on the left. Hatcher in at quarterback, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, has time, looks around, now he's under pressure, steps up, now he throws the ball away, gets it complete to Holiday out at the 34-yard line.
Great job that time. Great job by the quarterback.
And a great job by Dexter Holiday, who went down and broke off his pattern, saw that Hatcher had gotten in trouble, broke back to the ball, and made the reception at the 34-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 5 on the play.
That's a gain of 5. That could have been about a 10, 15-yard loss. Hatcher did a fine job of eluding the tackle and eluding the rush. Had 3 guys after him and showed a lot of poise.
Holiday and Williams come out. Walker and Davis come in. Going to give it off to Herbert Mingo, cracking right into the middle. He's across the 35 out to the 36-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 2 and bring up a 3rd down and a long 2 to go for Valdosta State. Herbert Mingo, the junior college transfer out of Northeast Oklahoma A&M, played at Clutch County High School in Homerville. Now we're going to substitute wide receivers as Holiday and Williams come back in. Walker and Davis come out. Got Alexander, Bo Houston in there at left guard. Will Osteen's the center for VSC. John Kenny and Jody Dowda on a 3rd down and 2. Hatcher drops back to pass. Looks around. Now he's going to run. He's at the 30, 35, dives towards the stakes. Now let's see where they mark it. They're going to mark it up around the 39-yard line, and that should be close enough for a 1st down. I think he had to go to the 38.
Again, a good job by Hatcher that time, Bill, showing a little speed, a little quickness, and also proved he's not afraid because he got in there and it's dove for that thing rather than making that 3rd base slide.
First down, Valdosta State College. You know, Mike Cavan, about the second or the third game of the season, said we were looking for a spark to get something going on our offense because we had not been able to do anything. In fact, the Blazers scored 7 points, I believe, in their first 3 games. And Coach Cavan was looking for a spark, and he found Chris Hatcher on 5th place on the depth chart. Hatcher's picked up the name of Sparky. First and 10, Mingo right through the middle, 40, 45, 46-yard line. Herbert Mingo, 8 yards. Second down and a long 2.
Bill, every time Mingo touches it, you get the feeling that he may break it every time. I don't know that he's even broken one this year, but you just get that feeling he has that elusiveness about it. Of course, he's got the speed, and he turned what looked like to be nothing into an 8-yard gain right there, just with some good foot movement.
We don't have a breakdown on actually what each player's longest run is so far this year, but I know Mingo's had at least a 30-yarder. Second down and 2, Blazers. Mingo one more time over the left-hand side, hit by one man, sidesteps him, comes up to the 48, and that's going to be close for a first down before they knock him back. Cracking in there by kind of blocked by Blake Duncan.
I believe we're going to be short on that one, I believe.
Bo Houston in there. Officials are going to stop the clock to bring the chains out. We've got 4 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the third period. Your score, Valdosta State 23, Delta State University 13. Gulf South Conference game. The Blazers trying to go 3-1-1 in the Gulf South Conference and move into a dead even tie with the Choctaws of Mississippi College for second place.
That's 6.5 inches short, Bill. 6.5 inches.
6.5 inches. Okay. Power set comes in. 2 tight ends check in. Scott Long, Steve Greer. Power back, number 93, Marcus Walker. Is going to line up right in front of Herbert Mingo. Blake Duncan stands to his left. Sparky Hatcher looks over the Delta State defense, and they've got 9 men crowded up on the line of scrimmage right there. Hatcher's going to give it to Mingo. Dives. First down, Blazers at the 49. Mingo just dove right behind number 78, Matt Alexander, 67, Bo Houston, and 93 defensive tackle who lined up to block it back, Marcus Walker. The Blazers pick up a first and 10. The ball sits on their own 49. They start the clocks running now with 3:52 to play in the third period. VSC clings to that 10-point lead. Moving into the stiff wind blowing out of the north. Holiday and Williams are going to come to the left. Ball sits in the middle of the field. Hatcher takes the snap, rolls left, stops, looks, throws off the fingertips of Robert Williams. He was surrounded by 4 Delta State defenders.
A little risky pass there. That's the first time today Hatcher's tried to drill one in there, and we were very fortunate it did get intercepted on the tip.
That ball came off of Williams' fingertips, bounced high in the air, and there were Delta Statesmen flying all over the place going for the interception. It falls incomplete, bring up second down and 10 for VSC on their own 49-yard line. The incompletion stops the clock with 3:31 to play in the third period. Walker and Williams going to go to the right. Holiday comes to the near side, backs in an I formation. Hatcher takes the snap, drops straight back to pass, has time, looks, throws for Williams. Down one ahead, complete at the 25. Leaping catch by Robert Williams. Puts the ball at the Delta State 23-yard line. The big 6'4" wide receiver out of Washington, Wilkes, went flying high into the air to make the reception.
Bill, that's again a pass that looked like it was about 10 yards too far, and I don't know if the wind held it. And I think that's what you've been looking for from Robert Williams since he's been here, is that big height that he does have, and the ability to go up above people and catch it. And he did that time. A big play.
Delta State defender who was covering Williams is down on the play. We've got time out on the field with 3:23 to play in the third period. This is the Blazer Football Network.